Chapter 15, Worldview Story. Core need, self-actualization. Core value, ignorance versus wisdom. Core emotion, satisfaction or pity. Core event, integral cognitive growth or degeneration event. Worldview story answers the complex questions. How can we solve problems we don't yet understand? How do we cope with events our existing belief structures cannot process? These stories are about our perpetual human struggle to understand new information that contradicts the framework of our current knowledge and beliefs. A shakeup in our worldview is a threat to our very identity. But these stories are among the most powerful and inspiring for readers of both fiction and nonfiction. How do you deliver the experience worldview story readers are looking for? The core need to self-actualize arises when an inciting opportunity or challenge upsets the luminary agent's view of themselves or the world. The challenge starts to dismantle a portion of the luminary's current worldview, which allows for the creation of a new worldview and the actualization of their potential in the real world. The core life value of the worldview genre derived from the need for self-actualization spans wisdom and ignorance, and gradations in between, including knowledge and cognitive dissonance. At the moment our core beliefs are challenged, we face cognitive dissonance, struggling to make sense of the world until we reach a moment of no return when we can't deny this new information any longer. It takes a cognitive leap to move from gathering new knowledge to acquiring the wisdom that constitutes a true worldview shift. The four subgenres of worldview depend on the specific kind of belief the luminary agent holds at the beginning of the story and how that transforms by the end. In the disillusionment subgenre, the luminary begins with an unquestioned belief and ends with the loss of faith, as in F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. In the education subgenre, the luminary evolves from a sense of meaninglessness to a sense of meaning, as in the musical My Fair Lady. In the maturation subgenre, the luminary holds a rigid black and white view of a particular aspect of the world, but by the end of the story has evolved to a more sophisticated shades of gray view, as in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. Finally, in the revelation subgenre, the luminary discovers a vital piece of information they need to make a wise decision, as in the film Arrival. When the luminary agent broadens and deepens their original worldview and attunes to the world, they attain the core life value of wisdom. Readers feel the core emotion of satisfaction because if the luminary can become wise, perhaps we can too. If the luminary agent refuses to accept a new worldview after theirs has been shaken by the inciting challenge, we feel the core emotion of pity. Not only the protagonist, but the world has lost a gift of insight that only the individual could provide. The global crisis of worldview forces the luminary agent to see and accept the world as it is and express their gifts or refuse. The core event, or cognitive growth or degeneration scene, is one in which the luminary integrates challenging knowledge to produce a new worldview or refuses to integrate the information and allows their worldview to regress. Simply put, in this scene, the luminary chooses to grow or regress. The cognitive growth or degeneration scene, which is both the global climax and the climax of the ending payoff, integrates all three core essentials. The luminary's core need for self-actualization defines the core life value of wisdom at stake, which, if attained, produces the core emotion response of satisfaction. If the core life value of wisdom is not attained, and ignorance reigns, the result is the core emotion response of pity. Much of the action in a worldview story happens in the luminary's mind, of course. So the core event is the writer's chance to demonstrate what the luminary does with the new knowledge or information that has challenged them. In the core event, the protagonist actualizes or denies their new worldview. The positive cognitive growth version of the universal takeaway or controlling idea of a worldview story is, wisdom and meaning prevail when we learn to express our gifts in a world we accept as imperfect. The negative, degenerative version is ignorance, naivete, and meaninglessness win when we fail to metabolize new information and release older, flawed beliefs to remake the way we see the world. Worldview stories show us that no matter how confident we are in our beliefs, we have more to learn. To self-actualize, we must improve our cognition by integrating old frames of reference into new, more accurate ones, attuned to the natural world around us. Summing up, in worldview stories, our need for self-actualization allows us to identify with the protagonist. We respond to the conflict on the ignorance-wisdom spectrum with the feeling of satisfaction when the luminary expresses their gifts and achieves cognitive growth and a worldview shift, or feeling of pity when the luminary fails to achieve cognitive growth and degenerates instead. In the core event of cognitive growth or degeneration, the core need for self-actualization is most in jeopardy. The life value reaches an extreme, and the core emotions reach their height as a result of the luminary attaining their need. By setting up and delivering this scene in an innovative way, you meet Worldview story readers' expectations.